All right, everyone. Hey, happy Friday. Congratulations. You made it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us. It's another edition of Q&A with Alan and Marshall. I'm Marshall Atkinson.
Yeah. I'm Alan Howe with Easy Way.
And welcome to our little show.
Absolutely.
And Alan just gave me a heart attack like 6 seconds ago because he disappeared and wouldn't come back. So, but he's here now. It's all good. And we're so glad that you're here with us. So one of the things, as you know, if you're a regular watcher, we'd like you to do, of course, is just to say hi. So type in the comments, your name, where you're from. If you got some little pithy remark or something, throw that in there too. We'd love to get a chuckle. But don't forget that this is a Q&A show, so we really rely on your questions. Of course, we've got topics, we've got things that we want to discuss, and you can probably predict what some of them are, maybe, but we want to help you. That's our main goal here. So even though we've got a show planned, we can scrap it if you've got a challenge that you want to talk about. So get that out there. And also this show really runs on participation. So answer a question or ask a question or whatever. Also, please share, right? Yeah. Just like your mama told you, please share, right? So we want you to share that you're watching the show because that really helps us out. So anyway, so Alan, how's your week been, pal?
All right. Busy. Made some calls locally here in Michigan. Saw our buddy Ray Markey. So it's not been too bad. Just swamped as you are, man. We're getting ready for Long Beach. And yeah, today has been nothing but meetings all day. And
today has been nothing but meetings. Yeah, I get it. Like I have had I think a record number of calls this week. Everybody's planning for this year. I keep saying next year. Next year's here, right? And they've got special plans, and everybody wants to talk about it. And so I've had to have. I had a call this morning with a client, and their official coaching session was earlier, and they wanted another one just because they got so much going on. And I'm like, let's do it, right? So
no problem.
So anyway, everybody's thinking about this year and trying to figure out what they're trying to figure out. They're trying to figure out their pricing. They're trying to figure out customers and what they should do and marketing and it's just a giant list of things that's on the forefront of everybody's mind. So it's going to be a fun year, I think.
Well, it's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a little weird year. I think some things have already been up and down already, but yeah.
I think it's just going to be it's going to be an interesting year. And crystal ball, I'm very curious as to how the runway with online stores, print on demand, DTF keeps building. And I'm very interested in that, right? I just see that, and I think it's impacted a lot of folks, Custom Ink, for example, right? I hear they're shifting to DTF, and they've moved nearshore for that, right? And so that's what I hear, right? I don't know if that's true or not. They haven't told me. The rumor mill, so.
Well, I know some companies that have. I'm a little concerned that the bigger companies got a handle on it, the Sunfrogs, Custom Inks.
Yeah.
I'm still concerned for the most people, Marshall, that there's still not the adult in the room of machinery that has set themselves apart. That's disconcerting to me.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to shake out like everything, right? And I got to tell you, I think the one that I see with the most traction, of course, is the Quattro by M&R, right? And just mainly because of their supply chain more than anything, right? And of course, There's other folks that are doing a good job with that. Equipment Zone and DTF Superstore, I think, and but there's so many other folks that are just
right.
And of course, GSG, they've got a lot of supplies and stuff. Let's not.
Well, they have the color drop. They have Quattro.
Yeah. So it's just like it's just. But next week, and I'm sure we're going to talk about Long Beach, right? Like, I think one of the things that I'm going to do, and if you're watching, here's some homework. As you're walking the show, make a little tally mark of how many DTF printers are at the show. I'm very curious as to what the number is. What do you think the over number is going to be for that? Let's come to think of it. Let's just do that right now. Let's everybody guess what the over under is on different DTF printers at the Long Beach show. I'm going to go with
you got to say how many different printers or how many different people selling printers.
Oh,
there might be multiple color drop printers. There might be multiple Quattro suppliers. There might be multiple Cobra Flex.
Let's say people selling, because that's easier and it's easier to count. So let's say people selling DTF equipment, not supplies, but equipment.
Yep.
How many different people are doing that at the show? Right. What's your guess?
What do you think, Marshall?
I'm guessing 40.
See, I was going to go 50.
Okay. So if you're watching right now, what's your number?
And you're going to have to help us because I'm not going to be able to walk the show.
Yeah, I'm going to walk the show and I'm going to count. And then when we come back, I'll report my number, right?
I'm going to be at the booth. Our booth is huge and I can't see myself leaving there a lot like I usually do.
Yeah. I know what you guys are up to. So let's get into some comments real quick and then let's start talking. I think we got a lot of really great things to talk about today. And I am fired up to get to them, pal. So
I love Richards. I want to talk about this.
Yeah, I see 9 Owls are crying about Gilbert, Arizona Thrive, but they talk about partnership. I think that's two peas in a pod. Both of them do fulfillment. So I think that's a good relationship. I don't know any details. I'm sure Eric and Gal will be at Long Beach like they always are. So we can probably get the skinny from them. So
I've been in the Thrive, but I don't know a whole lot.
Where is Thrive? It's like 5-6 auto shop, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, last time I was there.
Where is it?
Right in Phoenix.
Yeah, but where Phoenix is a major, huge place.
I don't remember, Marshall. I'm going to have to ask because they were at one place, then they moved to a newer place. I don't remember.
But weren't they another company and they moved to Phoenix?
They were another company. The way I know, and I might be wrong, they were a company who went down, and they shut it completely. I don't know if they went down, shut it completely down, resurrected as Thrive, and I don't know if someone bought them, that whole thing.
Oh, okay. Well, very interesting, right? So thanks, Richard, for the comment. Kisa's here. Good morning, Kisa.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good seeing you. And William says, hey, y'all from the middle of nowhere in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yep.
Our pal Frank's here from SNS. Good seeing you, Frank. I'm sure we'll see you at the show.
Absolutely. Make sure you stop by.
Daryl says 52. It's going to be like Priceless Right. Close as you can get without going over.
Alan said 50. He said 52.
Shane says 30 to 50 selling, 10 to 15 brands.
Yeah, that's not a guess. You got to pick a number.
It's like 30 to 50. We'll split the baby and call it 40, which is what I said.
Yeah, got to land on something.
Yeah. Frank says 70. Woo!
Sorry, you went over, but no, man. Ryan thinks.
Hey, Ryan's here. He says 60. Hey, Ryan, I sent you and Adam an email the other day. I'm not going to get into what I said, but please answer it and let me know. Okay.
Ryan was at the national championship game for football.
Was he? Great.
Yes, he was. So hope you had a good trip, Ryan. For us in Michigan, it was okay.
Yeah, good. Congratulations to Michigan on winning.
Yeah.
You can see my inner blood boiling, can't you?
Well, the Florida State in you is coming out, but we appreciate it. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, That's all good. So why don't we pay some bills real quick, and we'll come back with some comments and show stuff, right? So
absolutely.
Over the last 70 years, GSG has seen many changes in the apparel decorating industry. But one thing that hasn't changed is our dedication to helping our customers discover what's next. As we continue to lead the industry, GSG is here to support your business with industry experts. The latest innovative products, training services, and by delivering the perfect order.
All right. So thanks, GSG. Appreciate you for sponsoring, as always. And we've got some comments here. So Ryan says, Adam selected a time for the week of the 22nd. Let me look. I'll look at my calendar. I didn't see that. So anyway, that's all good. Frank says, because it was in Houston. What was in Houston?
He was talking about the football game.
Oh, okay. Well, the football game was in Houston?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Somehow I thought it was going to be in Louisville. I don't know why I had that. Then I saw it was in Houston. I'm like, I don't know. So
yeah. Anyway.
Doesn't matter.
So, so our first topic today.
Like, it doesn't matter. Lions are in the playoffs. Let's see what happens. This could be interesting.
Here's the thing. I'm very happy that the Lions are in the playoffs. So let's see what happens.
Right? It is a little concerned, but yeah.
Yeah. So, what's really interesting is two best friends both retired.
Nick Saban and
Belichick and Nick Saban, right? Yep. And I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a thing on Netflix or Prime or something where there's a documentary on their philosophy of coaching, and they interview each other. It's the most amazing. If you're a football guy, watch that. It's amazing.
I haven't seen it. I
can't remember what it's called, but it was really good.
Yeah, I'd have to see it. I watched the Barry Sanders one.
Yeah, that one sucked.
You hated it. I liked it.
Hey, anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? Long Beach, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Stuff's going on, and let's show some stuff. So if you're going to Long Beach, here you go. Go to gogsg.com. They can get a free passcode. Let's go back.
Yep.
Free passcode is this series of numbers right here. So if you're looking to go for free, there you go. So just go to gogsg.com. This doesn't stay put, and you can use that, right? I'm sure they love to see you.
Yep.
And speaking of vendors, here is the map, right? And here's the elevator down here. You see all this little semicircle of doors. So there's going to be some very serious looking people who, as the show goes on, get really bored. They're going to be standing right here. And then you're going to come in, right? This is how you get in, unless you come in the back door, but this is how you come in. And then what you're going to see is M&R, huge, but GST is right here, 1419.
Yep.
Okay. And then right here, this is Easy Way in Blue Water, where Mr. Howe is going to be hanging.
I will be there a lot. This is actually Easy Way's largest trade show booth. We have all kinds of equipment and stuff happening. So come by, say hi at least, and grab me. I'm going to say this again. People stop by, want to say hi, and they said, Alan, you were talking to somebody. I didn't want to interrupt. I'm always talking to somebody. Interrupt. Yeah. Let me know who you are.
Yeah, I come by and interrupt all the time. You can do it too.
Absolutely.
So a thing that I think we want to get across here is I saw the picture that Alex posted of them standing in the semi-truck. They have a whole semi-truck of equipment they're bringing to the show.
We are having everything, man. It's going to be inline machines, a brand new one, a small. I will say this: we are having our compact. We think it's the first single phase auto reclaim unit on the market going to be there.
What does that mean? Single phase electricity, right?
Electric, yeah.
Okay, so if you've got a tiny shop and you don't have 3-phase, this is important. Listen up.
44 amps. It's incredible. I can't wait. The one at the show, it's available in single or 3-phase. And Marshall, for the, not everybody can do $80,000, $90,000 on an auto reclaim.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do 18 to 20 feet long. This is 12 foot long.
Yeah.
100 screens a shift. So if you're at 35 to 45 screens a day, this is for you.
Yeah.
Incredible. So I'm so excited about it. I have one quoted out already. This is going to be exciting. And sometimes rural areas, one client was ready to pull the trigger on a larger machine.
Yeah.
But it was going to be $30,000 for them to pull 3-phase.
Yeah. Right.
Out of Evansville, Indiana today. Yeah. He's looking and he goes, it was going to cost $10,000 for 3-phase. And he didn't need the bigger machine. Let's go to this.
So, all right. So that's great, Alan.
And then we have developers and everything there.
So give me everything there. So let's talk about going to the show. If you haven't been to the show before, right? Here's what I suggest. First, you need some comfortable shoes.
Yep.
Okay. So don't wear flip-flops.
Right.
Don't, if you're a girl, don't wear spiky high heels like Deborah Sexton always wears, right? Wear comfortable shoes, okay? And be good to your feet, okay? There's lots of walking around and standing around and stuff, right? Also, if you've got a backpack, I always put 2 bottles of water in there because water is $1,000 a bottle at the show. Okay. They want to get their money, not to mention, see over here in the blue, that's where the food and stuff is. Or up here at the top, that's where the food and stuff is. While you're down here, not much.
Yep.
Okay. So put a couple bottles of water in a backpack. I always do that, right? And
a couple protein bars
and some hand sanitizer and a breath mint or some gum or something. Also, if somebody says, hey, would you like a mint? Always take it.
Yes. Take 2, they're small.
Never refuse a breath mint. All right. So
the other thing, Marshall, to bring, and everybody forgets them, bring business cards.
Business cards. I can't tell you how many people don't have business cards. And I'm always like, you're at a trade show. What's up with that?
Unreal. I just didn't bring them. Are you insane? Yeah.
So and here's what I would do is,
Marshall, let me say one other thing about business cards.
Yeah.
If you have a business card and it just has an email address on it with no other information, change it.
Yeah. So my business card on the other side has 2 QR codes. There's 2 completely different videos you can watch.
Yeah. But
and I've got like a gazillion of them. And as soon as I'm out of those, I'm going to be redesigning it. But, so it's like one of these things where, give away the business cards. And if you don't have business cards, I have an app on my phone called Blink with a Q, BLINQ, that's got all of my business card information with a QR code that somebody can scan. Yep. And now because sometimes I bring 500 business cards, but by the end of the show, I might be out. Right. So that's my backup. Right.
And my thing is I will get a business card, be at a seminar from someone, and it'll just have an email address. There won't be a phone number. There won't be an address. I don't know where you're from. I don't remember what you do.
Yeah. Right.
Make them complete.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's talk strategy here. Right. So this is, you can tell there's a lot going on.
Yep.
So what I would recommend is you guys plan whatever day you're showing up or days or whatever. What I do is I plan who I want to see. And I usually have a piece of paper, and Alan, you've seen it.
Yep.
It's got each day's itinerary, where I am, who I'm talking to, what appointment, who I'm eating with, whatever. It's all on there with where they are and booth numbers, and everything is planned out. And what I do is I'll say, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to start and I'll just walk all the way down here, and I'll start on the left, and I'll just, this is Thursday. Okay, this is Wednesday. This is Friday or whatever. And then in between that, I might have an appointment here or there or what, but I know what I'm doing every day, right? It's probably the best strategy you can take, because if you are seeing somebody over here and then your next thing is way over here, just getting over there is like 10 or 15 minute walk, right? Oh, yeah. And so, not to mention if you see people, that's what I do all the time, right? Yep. So you just got to plan it a little better. That's what I'm saying, right? And so that's kind of some good strategy. And you can see they got booth numbers. The show also has an app that you can download to your phone, and which is really great for looking up who you want to go see Easy Way or M&R or GSG. Where are these people? Where is S&S Activewear? Where is Jerseys?
Yep.
You can look them up really quickly just using the app and go, yeah. Jerseys is in 1803. You can go see Frank at S&S at 2148. So
exactly.
That's just an easy way of doing it. There's always a guide. And so if you don't want to do it on your phone, right, there's a guide that you can pick up, and you can easily look up just as you walk in, grab one. Okay. So we got some comments. So let's share the comments real quick.
Marshall, my other thing too, if you're only going to be there for one day, this is not a show you can walk and see everything in one day. You could if you don't talk to anybody. If you're only there one day or a limited time, plan out exactly what you're looking for, who you want to see.
Yeah, see them first, and then you have fluff time. Then you can
absolutely
see them. Yeah. All right. So Cindy's here. Good morning, Cindy. Hey, are you going to the show? We'd love to hook up.
Yep.
Richard says, my apologies. I wrote Gilbert. It's on 44th Street in Phoenix. There you go. Thank you.
Yep.
Dan's here. Pop in from Tennessee.
Hey, Dan.
Beppy's here.
Hey, Bepp.
And hey, are you coming? You're coming to the show? We'd love to see you, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So,
because Impressions Long Beach has actually become, right before COVID, it was like the #1 international show, and hopefully it'll get back to that. So hopefully, Beppy, we'll see you there.
Yeah. And if it's not, we understand. It's quite.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this is the map, right? And while we're talking about the show, there's two things that you should plan for. Both are on Saturday. One is Alan's class.
Absolutely.
9 o'clock to 10:15 in room 101A, Intro to Auto Reclaim. So Alan, what is this show? What is this class about?
Well, just what it is. It's about auto reclaiming. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be a large shop. We are going to be talking about one, of course, auto reclaim units. We're going to talk about what they are, what they aren't, what the questions you need to ask. And if you are a smaller shop and you think you can't, you don't need a big inline machine, there are semi-automatic solutions, and we're going to talk about them. So this is very informative, because automation, no matter what part of screen printing, is huge. You have to be the way the labor is now. You have to look at automation, if not now, in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, and why?
So sign up. And then my class is Mid-Journey for power users, and that's at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
Right. And that class is all going to be about how you can maximize Mid-Journey as an art design tool and just be a badass. Right. So I'm sharing some really great strategies and tips and about how to get to the end result that you want. Fingers crossed, we've got some decent Wi-Fi, because I really want this to be live demos instead of the recorded videos that I'm going to have. So if I can get a decent internet, we're not using videos, we're just doing it all live, right? But it's a trade show, and internet is, weird. So
good luck.
Yeah. Well, previous shows I've had internet.
Yep.
I love internet. So we'll see. So anyway, those are the two classes. Please sign up. We'd love to see you. So let's get back to
Marshall. I also have an article in Screenprint magazine, I think, right now, or it's supposed to be coming out before the show.
Yeah. So Screenprint magazine just came out, so I know your article's out because my article's out.
Oh, is it? I haven't seen it yet. So
yeah. So and your article's about what?
I don't remember. No, it's you know what? Small automation for small shop screen printers.
Yeah.
So we talk about 3 things, not just auto reclaiming, but we talk about 3 other ways where you can automate and streamline processes. So yeah, it's just a quick, I think, 1,200 word.
Yeah. So my article is setting up some guardrails for sales for the year.
Yep.
Like take your money up front, and it's okay to say no and all that kind of stuff. And so it's a very, I know a lot of people, their boat kind of runs aground sometimes because they're taking jobs maybe they shouldn't, or they're not pricing it right or whatever. Yep. I tell you, and Kudre's got a really great article on pricing you should read also. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. And which is about something that I talk about all the time, which is selling on value, not just, other things. So,
well, you know what? This issue sounds great, Marshall. I mean, Kudre's in it. You're in it. I'm in it. I know Andy McDougall does a podcast there. Yeah. They're hitting the whole academy. So congratulations, Marcia.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Beppy says he's not coming.
Oh, that's sad.
Pro tip: don't let everyone scam your badge. He meant scan.
Yep.
That's also a good tip.
If you're a screen printer, you don't need the director garment guy.
Scan what you're interested in.
Yep.
Right? Because
exactly.
because you're going to get on a list and your inbox is going to get full. Okay. Also, a tip that I always do is somebody's got a catalog or they got a sample or something. Instead of picking it up and carrying it with you, say, "Can you ship that to me?"
Yeah,
because they will. Okay, it won't be next week. It might be February, but they will ship it to you. So,
can we say this as a supplier? If you're one of those people that go to trade shows with a big box, scamming every sample under the sun, we know who you are.
Yeah, we can always tell. You can always tell somebody new to a trade show because they're bringing a hand cart with them.
Or, over the years,
or their luggage. They're bringing a wheeled luggage thing that they're
yep.
putting everything in.
And you know what? I mean, there was one person I saw. Now, this is when I worked for a distributor at one show every year. And you know what? I would spend time with them, but I realized they're just using everything all year. They are not in it to win it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So Cindy won't be making his campaign sign printing time.
Yes, it is.
So wait, well, hold on. There's an election?
Yeah.
How come nobody's talking about the election?
Well, they're too busy being stupid to each other.
We don't want to talk politics, please.
No.
Politics. Where's the politics-free zone?
Yeah.
I love samples. Yeah, she loves samples.
You know what? I love
everything.
I love giving samples to the right sample for the right application for you to try it. Absolutely.
Of course. We're not saying don't get samples. What we're saying is you can have it shipped to you. Oh, you don't want to carry that quart of ink around with you all day? Have it shipped.
Don't be the sample vulture where you're just trying to get stock. You never have to buy anything.
Yeah. I have a little bag that I backpack, right? And I can walk around with it and then put things in it. And I'm not like filling it up full of stuff, right? And I know people who bring an empty suitcase just for all the crap.
I've seen that. Yeah, in the box carrier on wheels, unreal.
And usually, I don't know, I haven't seen it lately, but a lot of times the trade show will have a UPS shipper at the show where you can just like ship it to your office, right? And not even carry it on the plane. So, all right, Hurley's here. Good morning. And then I love candy samples too. GSG gives the best. Yes.
Well, those are I'm one like that. You have candy out there or breath mints. I'm forever.
Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I hate, don't you hate people who just like get the whole handful, like
and take it?
It's like, what are you? Is this trick or treating?
It's the same people in the cart. Yeah.
Is this trick or treating?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I know that you're going to be manning your booth and everything, but besides that part of it, Alan, what are you looking forward to the most at the show?
You know what? And Marshall, like you, I always enjoy meeting people that I've never met before that come up that have watched the show or read an article or something for the first time. That is like the best, no matter where you are in the world. That is the best. I love meeting new people, hearing about your business. I'm excited to see, and this is personal stuff for me. You and I have been to 1,000 shows. We know there's going to be new stuff and everything, and that's exciting. I'm excited to see, our buddy James Ortolani back with Hicks, see what they're exhibiting at a show for the first time in a lot of years. Excited to see how they do. They have some new stuff. I'm always in that screen printing world. So yeah, I know Rock always has new stuff. M&R is going to have new stuff. So I'm always, the DTF keeps changing. So I am excited to learn, to hear. And then it's the stuff that you never know about until you see it. I remember when someone brought me a shirt, the hybrid printing was fairly new, and it was from one of my friends out in Indonesia, Chewy Singh. He, he was there and had a digital print that fit on any machine and printer, and it was pretty good. I saw the image. I'm like, where is this at?
Was that at last year's show or 2 years
that was
ago?
Probably, wow.
And that booth was over by the food court.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I went to that booth. I can't remember the name of it though, but I went.
So when I saw the print, the person told me, and I walked over. I'm like, oh, it's Chewy. Okay, cool. So that's the exciting part. We see stuff from around the world. We tend to. It's the thing I loved about the international market coming here is we tend to think in America that we just know if it's brand new and it's new, it's here. DTF has been overseas for a long time. So it's always great to see new stuff that just never expected.
Yeah, right. And for me, it's all about people, right? So my favorite thing to do is to meet people I haven't met before. So if you're watching this, let's go off and find a corner and you can tell me all about your shop. I want to hear everything. Right?
Absolutely.
And then, but if you know me, the same rule applies. It's like, I want to reconnect. I want to find out what's going on. If we got a minute, let's go get some coffee. If it's around lunch, let's go get lunch. Right? Let's go. Right.
Marshall, I love the times where you and I, where someone has called and said, hey, where they've called me and said, well, what's Marshall doing? I don't know. Let me find out. And then we just go with both of us because that's the best.
Yeah.
It is new people and
meet new people and do stuff, and let's be honest, you've got your things that you're doing and I've got appointments and things I need to see. I've got a big list of people that already want to do things. And so, but, in between, let's do it, man. And so that's always the fun thing. I like seeing people in their booth. I want to hear the new, whatever it is. It's new software, it's new garments, it's new equipment. I want to understand the thing because, as a consultant, I talk to a lot of people. And then when somebody says, hey, I'm trying to blah, 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 blah. If I know the answer, then I can refer them to that company. Right. And I'm like a neutral person. Like I just want to know what people are doing and be informed. That's my main thing, is being informed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's always fun, right? So
and Marshall, it is kind of hilarious. We talk about it when they see you or me separately and they'll go, so where's Marshall? And I always have the same response. Well, contrary to popular beliefs, Marshall doesn't share his schedule with me.
And the other thing is, oh my God, you're tall.
Or both of us together, because they'll see me or know together we're like huge. So
you're like, oh my God, I didn't know you're so tall. I guess the internet makes you tiny. But
so I'm like 6'2", and Marshall, how tall are you?
Well, I used to be 6'5", but now I'm old, so it's like 6'4.5".
Yeah, I used to be like close to 6'3", and I'm like slightly under 6'2" now. But
So anyway, so we want to hang out, and do stuff. I've got, so I'll be going, there's Stalls is having a little thing Thursday night. I'll be at that party, and I'll be at the rock thing Saturday night.
Yep.
So if you're going to those, let's make sure we hook up and have a beer or a slice of pizza or whatever they're going to be serving, exactly. And and I have my Shirt Lab thing Friday night, so that's going to be fun. So
yep, the rock thing will be good. I'm looking forward to that. One of our other guys, Shirt Show, has a event. I'm going to be going to the Shirt Lab thing. I'm signed up for now. But yeah, lots going on.
Yeah, there is a lot going on. So it's like a circus, you can watch the trapeze act, but the clowns are over here doing something.
Exactly. And sometimes I'm like, I have to make an appearance in one and then go to another. So,
and by clowns, I mean me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm the guy with the red nose, big feet. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, anyway, so
but it's a great time. I really look forward to it. It's a busy time, but yeah.
Yeah. So let's move past Long Beach, right? And let's have a real time.
And you know what? Well, if you're coming, if you hear this, email me, email Marshall. You want to have coffee, you want to have breakfast, let me know.
Yeah. I can, we've got that, right? So it's Alan's email.
Yep.
ahow@easyway.com.
Yep.
And mine is the really hard to remember. It's my name, Marshall@marshallatkinson.com. So email us, please. All right. So our next topic really is know your customers' problems. So I want to talk about this because earlier this week I was somebody sent me, they wanted to do something on LinkedIn, and they sent me all this stuff because they've hired somebody to do this whole LinkedIn thing for them. And it was so wrong. It was laughable. And so, because it was all me, buy me, right?
Right.
And it didn't say anything about their customer or their customer's problems or, what type of challenges we're uniquely suited to solve this. It was just basically, a boasting thing. Right. Uh-huh. And I'm like, that was not going to work. And so we had this whole conversation, right? So the thing that I want to get across here is, especially with marketing, especially with sales, you need to know your customers' problems and their challenges and what's important to them, because that's where you start. You don't try to sell stuff to people because they don't, hey, guess what? I'm selling donkeys and donkeys are $25. You want to buy one?
Yeah.
Maybe we don't need a donkey. Okay. So maybe what we should talk about is what we really need. What is my problem? Instead of trying to cram something down somebody's throat, we can talk about what matters to them and what their problems is. And then, oh yeah, we've got a solution for that. This is what it is. Right. That's just a better approach. Right. But if we don't know what these problems are, because we can't assume, we have to talk to our customers and ask, right? And I know that a foundational element of your sales strategy is that, Alan. So can you 100%. Expand on that a little bit?
Yeah. So I am not a good salesperson at all. I will admit that. But you know what? When I learned that
you're one of the leading guys, how is that possible?
I don't know that. I'm not the lead sales guy at Easy Way. I do well there. There are guys that have bigger areas, better distribute, so I don't know. What I do well is I build relationships and I ask a lot of questions. And I've learned to find out where are their bottlenecks, what I call what are their pain points.
Yeah.
Where are they bleeding? Where are they hemorrhaging at? So, example, if you go to a doctor and he's trying to splint a little finger because that little finger keeps hurting. Well, by the way, have you noticed you're bleeding out of an artery? That little finger doesn't matter on a splint. And that happens in shops. You're out there trying to get new customers. I want XYZ building company as a customer. And I'm trying to sell them the same shirt, the same hat, the same thing as everybody else down the market. And that is a race to the bottom. You need to find out, what are they happy with? Who are they using? What are they buying? What do they like? What would they need to do? How would they like to represent their business better? Maybe I just don't need the same cheap one color shirt. Maybe there's a new style. Go see Frank at S&S.
Here's the great question. How are they using the product?
Exactly.
How are they using the shirts? You know, so, so are you trying to sell these? Are we giving them away? Is it because you want safety green so the tractor doesn't run them over? I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing with the shirts? I think that's our key question to be asking.
And these guys in lawn care, like up here in Michigan, they go from landscaping to snow plowing. You know what? Then it goes from shirts to hoodies to what about the Carhartt jackets? What about your promotional stuff? What about if you got them, tumblers for coffee?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So you need to find out what are their problems.
What else can you sell them? Yeah.
Yeah. Because now it's not just them wanting to, here's what I buy now. What can they do? What are the problems? And sometimes you have to find out where they're bleeding, where the pain is.
Yeah, right.
And that is it. And then, I'm happy the guy gives me a good price. Is he on time? No, never. That's a problem.
Yeah. What matters, right?
Yeah.
Got some folks signing in. So let's say hello real quick. So Josh is here. Good morning.
Yeah.
And Dave Eggers is here. Hello, gentlemen. I like how he put it in quotes.
Yeah. How you doing, David?
You must know us.
So back to the solution. I actually had this. So my family owns a small party store. My stepmom does. My father did when he was alive and all that. And they had shirts made. Now, do they ever come to me? They have no idea what I do. Unreal. I see the shirts. I'm saying,
hold on. You don't talk about what you do for a living with your family?
They know what I do, but Marshall, you and I are famous, like in the industry, except I'm famous.
I don't know about famous.
Well, we're well known.
Yeah.
If I go, the big joke is that everybody's a rock star 50 miles out of their hometown. So, there are some people I deal with, distributors that have known me since I was 20 years old, not impressed by anything I've done. So it's the same thing with family and stuff like that. So the example is their shirts, they were not a great print and stuff. And my stepmom told me, she ordered more. She goes, yeah, I gave them another chance. It's this, it's that. The stuff was falling off. And I'm like, so why would you do it again? Well, I don't know. So I said, hold on. So I went back home and I got examples of shirts. Bam, what do you want? Wow, this is nice. This is nice. This is nice. What do you do? And all that. What do you want? There's hoodies. So I set them up with one of my clients. Bam. I had to figure out their pain point. They were not going to say.
So it's interesting that the shop they were using didn't do any of that.
Well, I didn't even know who the shop was. It was some little person out of the garage. I still don't know who it is.
Right.
Actually, I do now because they were sold and I went and helped them. And she's actually been on the show here listening and stuff. And she does great now, the people that bought it. But you know what? You had to find out the pain point. I didn't know what the problem. I thought they were just happy with mediocre shirts. Wow. I can do a multicolor. The artwork is better. It's on a hoodie. People are paying more.
Right.
Stuff when they came in. You had to find the pain point. And don't assume because you have the business, you know them, you know what that is. Right. You have to dig down. If you're a supplier on there, what are they doing? Where is their pain point? I just don't go say, hey, I'm with Easy Way. You want to buy chemical? What are you using now? What's there? And I look, oh, you're still having staining. Oh, you're using 5 products. Why is that?
Yeah. A lot of times they don't know.
Yeah, they just don't know.
Why are we using this is a common thing. I've asked this question. Why are you doing it that way? I don't know.
Yep. Exactly.
I just had a conversation with someone today about their pricing. Where do these numbers come from? I don't know. How long have you been using them? 6 years.
Yeah, unreal.
It's okay, but if they didn't know, it's like, okay, so let's think about doing something different.
Yeah, right? Absolutely.
All right. So know your customers' problems is one. What was the third one? Do you remember?
Oh, I have to look. And you are
time is money.
Time is money.
Time is money. So we all know this. This is not anything new, right? But where are we wasting our time?
Yep.
right? Your presentation in Long Beach is about saving time. That's why we automate, right? We save time. Time is money. Things cost money.
Yep.
Labor, overhead, whatever. Time costs money. When you have to redo something, time costs money. Now you got to do something over. Yep. Not just printing, but maybe burning a screen or, requoting something because you didn't do it right? Time is money. So let's think about how we're utilizing time. How can we be more effective with our time? And a lot of people, I think, Alan, use the word efficient with time. And I think that's the wrong word because you could be printing the wrong side of the shirt really quickly. You made that mistake efficiently.
Very efficiently. Very good.
You made record time in the wrong direction. Yeah. So to me, being effective is, I think, a better choice because that means we're having quality with what we're supposed to be doing. We're effective with our time. I think that's a better way of looking at it, right?
Right.
And I'm interested in what other people that are watching have to say about this or whatever. So what do you think about time as money? How can you do more with less time? What are you doing? And then here's another thing. What's your number one obstacle about time that you're trying to solve right now? What is that? Right? That would be a really good topic for us to dig into. Alan, what is your number one thing with time that you're trying to solve right now?
Well, for me personally, mine is always time management on what I do, what I don't do. I get involved in like little things that don't matter. And I don't
little minnows that eat up your day.
100%. I am the worst at that, especially when I'm on the road, not so much. When I'm at home, the hardest for me, Marshall, is working at home in my office. And it's always that way. If you've ever worked at home your whole life, you have to
work from home.
Yeah, I know you do. And you know what? But how easy it if I don't close my office door and I'm like, have my list of what I have to do and do that, I will get distracted by the cat needs fed. I got to do laundry. I have to do this. Absolutely. The Good Gilligan's Island is on TV. Yeah. Whatever is pulling at you, I've got to run to the grocery store and stuff like that. No, I need to focus. And it is difficult when you work at home. Now, I've been working at home for over 30 years. And when I started work in office in my house, this was back in the day of, I had multiple phone lines. I had a fax machine. I had a printer. I had it all. And there were times I would have to, and I was young, I was single, so I had roommates that I rented rooms out of my house. I had a 3-bedroom house, so I rented 2 rooms out. It was nice. It was nice financially. But they would laugh because if I knew I wanted to sleep in, I would get up, make coffee, and I would actually take shower, shave, dress slacks, dress shirt, jacket on, and I would go to my office. I had to get in work mode.
Right.
And that is the hardest thing about time. Now, what I see out in the field is still people not having standard operating procedures, not using the tools available to them. That is wasting time and money and redos and stuff. Little things. I was at a major shop 2 weeks ago, and their big problem, chemical reclaim wise, is their screens were underexposed. They assured me they weren't. We had to double the time. And you know why? Because they had the tools, they weren't using the tools. And they said,
why?
Well, I don't know why. If I was that, I'd be.
So here's what if you ask, well, how come you're not doing that? Here's what you'll say. Here's the answer I get all the time. He's like, I just ran out of time.
He didn't,
and what? My response to that is always, you had enough time. You just didn't prioritize your time. So if it was important to you, you would have done it. So if it is important to you to make sure that this one process works, you would spend the time doing it correctly.
Well, and so I spent the whole time there over probably 2 hours on a very first meeting with them. I had a phone call with them through a conference call with my friend Mark Teal from Delpit. But then I go down there and I spend my time doing exposure tests, showing him and setting up some basic SOPs. And you know what that did? That's back to sales. You know what? I found the problem and a solution, because it's not chemical. When you have underexposed screens, I don't care whose product you have, you're going to have reclaiming issues.
Yeah. So Frank's got a good comment here. My challenge is balancing checking off things on my to-do list while making genuine connections. Good relationships take time.
100%.
So
absolutely,
how I balance this is I know you've heard this term before, eat the frog, right? So I try to do all the really important things first, right? So if you need to call somebody back or do a quote or, whatever's super important today, we're doing that first thing in the day, right? And that way we know that it gets done, right? And so we always have a checklist of stuff. And so I schedule time on my calendar to do things. And so I block time off in 30 and 60-minute chunks of time. And in between things, I'm always working on whatever, just catching up, doing email, whatever,
right.
So usually, I have a lot of calls every day, and I have 15 minutes in between each call. And during that time, I'm doing stuff, right? I don't just go wander off and, to use your thing, go watch Gilligan's Island, right?
No, not just Gilligan. The good Gilligan is on.
But I've got a list of things I want to accomplish. So I'm churning this stuff out. And so the in-between things, I'm doing a little bit of something,
right?
A little bit of something. And then by the end of the day, the thing's done, right? I just keep plowing along with it. But if I'm going to write an article, or I'm going to build a presentation, or I'm going to do some major thing, I've got a chunk of time blocked off for that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you got to reprioritize, so I do a lot of stuff where I'm volunteering my time. And then when I get backed up, those things just come right off the plate. I don't do them.
Yep.
We've got, I'm on the academy with you, and I've got a committee that I'm running, but this month is we're not doing anything just because everybody's busy. And so we'll get back on it in February. Right. And, because we're not getting paid, it's voluntary. Right. So I'm not sacrificing the low for the high priority. Right?
And it doesn't mean it's not important. It's just not.
It's still important. I'm just prioritizing it now. And, and if I feel like it, I'll work on the weekends, usually do something on Saturday mornings, maybe.
Right.
But sometimes I don't. Sometimes I want to, my son's in town until Sunday, because then he goes back to college. Right. So tomorrow we're doing a whole bunch of stuff. Right. And he's first, as the way it should be. Right. So.
Well, Marshall, I think I need to explain when I say about the good Gilligan's Island, I'm not a Gilligan's Island huge super fan. That's just the metaphor for, which episode is the good Gilligan's Island? They're all the same. They try to get off the island. Gilligan screws it up. Oh my gosh, they're still on. Okay. So it's all the same. So when you say the good Gilligan's Island, there's always a distraction. It seems important. It's really not.
So Daryl says what's important is contribution margin after cost of goods. Exactly.
Yep, absolutely.
Coudray talks about it all the time. And I know Daryl's a big Mark Coudray fan.
Absolutely.
Mark's article in the latest Screenprinting magazine is about this exact point. Contribution margin divided by time. Exactly. How much time are you spending on things? Richard says, my purpose at Expressions Expo is to reconnect, see my distant friends, and catch up. I saw that Fresner is going to be there only Friday, so I'm sure you and Scott will be hanging out, right? So
make sure you.
By the way, I want to be included in that.
Me also. I haven't seen Scott in a while. Make sure. Let's all connect up.
Yeah. So it's important, right? And so time is money. Just how you spend your time is important. And then we got one last topic. Let's see if we can squeeze it in. Is the power of connections.
And that's what
and this is on here today because right after this show, I'm jumping in my car and I'm going to hang out with my good buddy Jay Bissell, right?
Have tacos.
And we're having some tacos, and then we've got a project we're working on at his office. And if you went to Shirt Lab New Orleans, you heard all about the collaboratory, right? So this is the collaboration laboratory. So Jay and I have got something cooking, and today we're working on it. I'm very excited about it. I can't wait, right? I got my Shirt Lab hoodie on just so because it's a video-based thing, so I can be wearing it, right? And so it's the collaboratory, right? So this is a fun thing that I think is going to make some impact. Mm-hmm. And I'm collaborating with another person on something, right? The power of connections is always who you know. And guess what? At one point in my life, I didn't know Jay. I didn't know Alan. I didn't know Richard. I didn't know a lot of people, right? It's the fact that I'm willing to stick my hand down and say, hey, I'm Marshall Atkinson. What do you do? What's your name?
Yep.
And I think that's really important. The power of connections is in business. It's always who you know, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's always who you know. And you don't have to know that person if somebody else does. So are you getting out of your office and meeting people? Yep. Are you showing up to the Zoom call? What are you doing? Right? You can't just sit there, right? And so the power of connections is really important, right? So,
well, and it's not just knowing. There's a difference between knowing who they are and knowing them. Have you met them? Like you said, Marshall, have you stuck your hand out? I knew Charlie Talialee for years before we actually had a conversation. Because at that time, who didn't at that time? Richard I met early in my career, so I was lucky. Marshall I knew, I read his stuff. And I will say, Marshall reached out to me.
Right.
And we set up a time. It was like the handshake out. We talked. We met at Long Beach at 2015.
Yeah, he came to my class, and I made fun of him.
And through that, I'm actually going to that class. Walking in, I meet a guy. We're talking, and it's John Lynch from Linka in Poland.
Yeah, and I made fun of Alan. It was
immediately made fun of me. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we get along, I think, because we can both make fun of each other, right? So,
but he was known, I was known. We didn't meet, but yeah. So it was a good time.
Yeah. So Alan says, so you're canceling the meeting on Monday? We'll see. So more to come on that. Josh says tracking if we actually hit our numbers. Yes.
Yep.
Good thing. I love it. I love it. Have the autopsy of last year. Who's done? Raise your hand if you've done that. The autopsy of last year. What happened? And then we're using that to plan this year's stuff.
Yep.
Right? It's important. Charlie says, good morning. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning, Charlie.
Speaking of hanging out and doing stuff,
yep.
Can't wait to hang out with Charlie next week. Josh says, networking is everything. We grow together. Exactly.
100%.
So all good, all good. So we got 3 minutes left. Would love for you guys to talk about the power of connections.
Marshall,
what's the most important? Here's the thing. Who's the most important connection that you've met in your, let's just say, professional career? Because, everybody's going to say their spouse or something. But what has been the biggest thing for you? Mine is Greg Kitson. Everything stems from me reaching out to Greg and introducing myself and what happened from that, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Alan? Who's probably been your lead person you think that you can attribute a lot of stuff to?
Yeah, so I want to say Larry Rogers from J Products, the owner of J Products. One, because he gave me my start. I was super young. I was super, like we always refer to those as young, angry Alan. And he kept me on. He could have fired me, probably should have, but then he believed in me. But I got to say John Schluter, because I met him there, the owner of Easy Way, and I learned everything about chemistry and reclaim and stuff from him.
Yeah.
Long before I worked for him, when I was just a dealer for him, and we made calls together. We worked hard. We laughed. Successes. We look at each other, didn't know that would work, and things that worked, and we couldn't get it done, and we just go, we're bad salespeople.
Yeah.
So many good stories. So that.
And I think a strong number 2 for me is Coudray, probably.
Yeah.
And so just
I think after my career was there, has to be, and I'm going to put it's the Richard Greaves, Greg Kitson, because they gave me the kicks in the head to write, to do the things that I'm known for, the printing, better whites, the 5 fundamental things.
Right.
When I sit, I'm famous for having idea and sit. When Richard Greaves goes, "Are you going to do something?" I go, "Yeah, probably." He goes, "All right, if you don't do something in 2 months, I'm stealing it."
Yeah.
Time's up.
Time's up.
Yep, exactly. So,
yeah. So got some good comments. Dan says, compared my numbers last night, number of total colors separated, total jobs. What was it?
Oh, yeah.
Dave said Murakami's Walt Wright.
A great one. Walt
Wasn't
is
somebody just talking about him like last week?
Walt, just incredible.
Frank says, have a great weekend, guys. See you next week. Yes.
See you next week. Yep.
And Richard says Barbara Roberts, Jeffrey Gittimer, Coudray, and Don Newman. Yeah, those are all great.
Richard, who's Barbara Roberts? Was she Impressions? I think back in the day. Help me out on who Barbara Roberts was. So, yeah.
All good. All right. Well, cool. Well, hey guys, great show, Alan. Thanks for you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys.
We need to say thank you again to GSG. We didn't talk about the Pulse. We did put up their code for passes at the show.
Yep.
Make sure we appreciate you, GSG. Looking forward to seeing everybody there.
We'll be by their booth and saying hello. And we love to bring you over there and introduce you to some people. If you haven't met them, we'd love to do that. Josh says, by the way, Coudray helped me learn how to run a business. Mark Sladonic and Lon Winters helped me become the printer I am today. Charlie Tobley took his class at SGIA and never looked.
100%. That's a great group to be in.
Yep. All awesome. So, all right, everyone. So thanks for watching. If you're going to be in California next week, I want to hang out with you. So Absolutely. Make sure that we figure that out. And, one last comment. Barbara is the best friend I've ever had, number 1.
Okay.
There you go. All right, guys. So thanks and travel safely. And if you're not going to the show, that's okay. We'll have a recap.
Well.
I'll be taking tons of pictures and stuff. So maybe I'll do a little slideshow or something.
And Marshall, we are not having the show next week.
Yeah, we're not doing a show next week because both of us are under lots of things going on. So we'll be back on the 26th, looking at my calendar. So
yep.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much. We'll see you later. Take care.
Bye-bye. Be safe.